The number one priority is yourself. Everybody has a responsibility to create the person they become. And if you say, well, I don't want to take that responsibility, you're apt to end up nowhere. So what we're talking about is priority number one, that's you. And the most important thing are the vital connections. Now, we all have connections, but some are more vital than others. The greatest gift you can give to somebody is your own personal development. You've got to take care of you. If you've all flown in airplanes and you know the routine flight attendants go through and say, when we lose air pressure, which I've never seen it happen, but the mask will drop down. And you've got to put your own mask on first before you try to help somebody else. And that's a good idea about life. Take care of yourself, otherwise you're a burden. And if you don't take care of yourself, you are actually an emotional manipulator where you're manipulating other people. It's not your job to like me, it's my job. I need to like myself, and you need to like yourself. First, I want to start out with the thing about the power of vulnerability. But you're actually the CEO of your own self-company. That you incorporated. And so you're the decision maker. In all of this connections, you're still the decision maker about your life. And I want to talk about, well, I need some help. So I got Brene Brown to help. Brene Brown found that vulnerability, exposing our true self instead of wearing a mask, that was where it was at for personal development and for happiness. It's like if you don't have some sadness, you won't recognize happiness. I'm thinking of these two fish swimming along and another fish, house of water. And the one fish said, "What's water?" Because when it's always there, you don't know any difference. So the thing about authenticity is to value the downside so that you can appreciate the upside. One thing I like about living in Pennsylvania is the weather. I really love great days because we have bad days. But when you're in other climates where every day is great, then you don't really appreciate a good day. So anyway, Brene Brown talks about authenticity. If you Google TED Talk, Brene Brown, you can look at this. She talked about shame, the fear of disconnection, or thinking I'm a mistake. And guilt is where I made a mistake. So there's a difference there. And hopefully you'll think guilt rather than shame. I made a mistake. And the main fear is not being worthy of love. We need the courage to be imperfect. Everybody is imperfect. We all have issues to deal with. And the willingness to say I love you with no guarantee that you're going to get that back. So anyway, according to the research by Brene Brown, the path to positive connections is to be vulnerable. Smart people know when to ask for help. Got that from Daniel Amen, who has researched a lot about the mental processes and success and the way our minds work. There's 3 rules. One is, if you do not go for what you want, you'll never have it. If you do not ask, the answer is always no. If you don't step forward, you will always be in the same place. As a CEO, when you're facing issues, there's 3 things that can really help. One is inspiration, another is support, and the third is clarification. This is what will help you be more effective. The way you want to express your vulnerability is talk about, admit your problems. And I'm not talking about complaining, just be open and not try to fake it. When you ask someone for help, it's not good to put them on the spot. rather than put someone on the spot. You know, okay, let's say somebody says to me, Don, you're not your real self today. What's going on? You got a problem or something? And my response would be probably, well, I really don't want to talk about it, or I don't want to bother you. But then, here's the key. Oh, you know, you can really help me. Who do you know that would be willing to spend a little time with me and listen to me work through my issue? Do you know somebody, you know, help me think of somebody that might be willing to spend, you know, a little time, maybe on the phone, or maybe get together for coffee or whatever, because what I need is to be able to talk and express myself, but we really don't have time now. Who do you know, or can you help me find somebody? Then, if that person is sincere about wanting to help you, they will volunteer. If not, they're not on the spot, and they will. And if they don't think of somebody, that's okay. But the way to ask for help is to say, who do you know that might be able to help me with this or that? Who do you know? Rather than, would you help me? You know, failures are a part of life. That's how we learn. If you don't venture out, you're not going to learn. But sometimes when you fail, it's good to have some support and have some help from someone else. The first thing that we're looking for is inspiration. We can use inspiration to help us get back up after we fall down. A way to inspire a person is to affirm them. And so you're looking for somebody that will affirm you. And the way to affirm a person is to say what you like about them or appreciate about them. Not judge them. An affirmation from someone else is not a judgment. It's not like, oh, that's a nice outfit you have on. That doesn't make it. That puts you up as a judge. A good affirmation is, I really like the outfit you're wearing. So when you express your feelings about some positive of another person, and so that's the way you can be inspired if you find somebody that will talk about how they feel about your good assets or whatever. An affirmation might be to remember some successes you've had. There are a lot of ways you can affirm the value of a person, but it's by saying what you appreciate about that person, not as a judgment of saying, well, that was perfect, or you're good, or you deserve an A for that effort. No, it's, I really appreciate what you did, or that was, I really thought that was great. You get the difference between judgment and an evaluation, or a statement of how you feel about something. And the feeling is what you're looking for in an affirmation. In addition to inspiration, sometimes what we need is support. And basically, support is someone that's just there for us. Support is somebody that will listen. It's not advice we need. What we need is somebody that will understand. It's okay to have problems. You just don't want to live there. Some people have a problem and they decide they want to play the victim role. And so I'm suggesting don't live there. Do some things to bring you out of it. And part of it is having somebody understand. When my children were young and they were out playing and they fall down and skin their knee or something, they come in crying. And so by paying attention to their injury and trying to understand how they felt, they stopped crying and started explaining more how they felt. So to have someone understand and listen to your pain, listen, and rather than saying, they're there, or you're going to be okay, or you're strong, that's not what they need. They need an understanding of what they're going through. So to let them express themselves and be willing to listen to their pain. Too often we're in the habit of turn talking. Turn talking is where you talk, and I'm preparing what I'm going to say, and then when it's my turn, I talk, and you're trying to decide what you're going to say, rather than tuning in to what I'm trying to say or what you're trying to say. So it's better to listen deeply. What we need is help clarifying some things. And to clarify, to know exactly what you want and be able to articulate what it is you want. A lot of times we think we want something, and when we get it, it doesn't really serve the purpose. Do you know what I mean? You ever buy something and then, I've even bought stuff and 6 months later haven't used it. Happiness is not the absence of pain or expectation. It's the presence of purpose. So in clarification, somebody that can help draw out from you your true core inner purpose or values or mission, that's what we're talking about in clarification. Clarify who you are and what you want to achieve. And not by telling you, primarily by asking questions. Success is liking yourself, liking what you do, and liking how you do it. And part of clarification is to make a commitment. Commitment means staying loyal to what you said you were going to do long after the mood you said it in has left you. And this is where, by talking to another person and then coming back later and talking to them, there's a form of accountability. And the accountability is that, you said you were going to do this or you're going to do that. Did you do it? And if not, why not? The research about New Year's resolutions says that if you tell your New Year's resolutions to your minister, your priest, your rabbi, or someone else, or publicize your resolutions, there's a much higher chance that you're going to follow through on your resolution than if you just keep it to yourself. So using that idea, that's why it's so important to have an ally with whom you can talk about your goals and your challenges and your mission. Okay, in summary, I want to emphasize, do you know anyone who can help? So instead of putting someone on the spot when you need help, you're asking for another, who do you know that might be able to? And that way it gives the person the space to be authentic with their answer and say, oh, I could do that. Would that work? Or the space to say, well, let me think. I think maybe we can think of somebody. Okay, then another step I didn't mention. Once they think of somebody else, the next step would be to say, well, I don't really feel comfortable putting that person on the spot. Would you be willing to mention what I need to them before we get together? Would you be willing to tell them the kind of help I need or explain that? For every problem under the sun, there is a fix or there is none. If there's a fix, seek till you find it. If there's none, never mind it. So that's, look, instead of dwelling on what you can't fix, accept it. And then if there's something that can be done, do it.